Thanks so much for joining us on BLOCKTV. I want to start by asking, here we are at an event at Tel Aviv Blockchain Week. Pretty amazing to have this sort of event occurring here in Israel. What do you think the impact can be for the blockchain community in Israel and internationally of having this sort of conferences?
Yes, I think it's very good to have this kind of conferences that bring together people from all over the world and from Israel, right? So, I go around here, I see a lot of people that I know and a lot of people that I don't know. And, people who are occasionally in or sometimes don't meet, this is an opportunity for them to come together and meet and do things together. And of course, we have the international guests who come from all over the world, and that's the way to establish new connections. I think it can really bring the whole area forward.
And, many would say, why Israel? Why is Israel such a hub, and why, in terms of blockchain and crypto development, what's relevant to here? How would you answer that?
So in general, Israel is known as the startup nation. So we have a lot of entrepreneurship here. We have a lot of technology people. So people, always like to innovate here. They like to challenge the existing. So Israelis don't like to feel like they are full, so whenever they see something which is not right, they try to fix it. So I think that's part of the thing that drives Israelis to innovation and startups and so on. And this, of course, reflects also in a new technology like Bitcoin and blockchain, cryptocurrencies. So we like all kinds of innovation, and this is at the forefront of innovation. So, of course, we would see that here.
And Meni as well, I want to talk about the market for a moment, because first half of 2019, super exciting time. We broke through crypto winter, had a parabolic upswing in Bitcoin particularly. And now we've entered this strange phase where the market seems relatively flat. We're sort of holding in this zone, and yet Bitcoin is continuing to grow its market cap dominance. How do you play into this narrative? What do you think of what's happening in the markets at the moment?
Yeah, so I think stability is good. So specifically with the Bitcoin price, the fact that it is so stable is very good for its usage, and it's very good for getting the thoughts of Bitcoin into their awareness. So, and I think that with a lot of the alts and so on, it's all kinds of experiments where people try and sometimes it doesn't work. But with Bitcoin, it's a bit more of a stable thing, which people, most of them understand already. So the longer Bitcoin exists and doesn't fail catastrophically or something like that, I think the confidence in it increases. And this reflects both on the dominance of Bitcoin with respect to alts and also in the market in general. But I think we are still not completely out of the crypto winter. So there was, of course, an uptick from 2018, but still there's some time until the market really recovers and the companies have more revenue and can promote new activity.
But you think ultimately it's a matter of time?
I think, yeah, definitely. I think that over time, whatever should happen will happen, and we've seen it happen several times. We had a bubble, and then a winter, and again and again. So now I think we're at the stage where we're starting to break out of the winter. And if things continue as they have in the past, then we will see another bubble, which is good and bad, because we don't, the volatility and the craziness, they're not good, but it does provoke new interest, new blood coming in and doing new projects. So, yeah.
And Meni as well, speaking of sort of the macro picture, things happening outside the crypto sphere that could impact on it. We've got all this sort of talk at the moment internationally. People have concerns of recessions in equity markets and in the US and around the world, and that could be a potential boost to Bitcoin. And then even just today, last night, there were comments. Jay Clayton, the chairman of the SEC, went on CNBC and said that they're positive that there are developments in getting an ETF passed in Bitcoin. Do you think these bigger macro economic elements can impact the market, or do you think the crypto markets are separate from the other equity markets?
Yeah, so I think for the large part, the two things are mostly not very connected, because Bitcoin and the blockchain are still rather small, which means they have their own things. So the things that affect its growth are more internal to the Bitcoin and the blockchain. So whether people believe in it, how well it works, and so on. I think the global things don't have that much of an effect. But in the context of, for example, an ETF for Bitcoin, I think that could be good, because this does allow, established bodies to go into this market, and this could help bring in new funds and new growth.
And so you said before you don't think we're necessarily entirely out of the crypto winter. If you were to project ahead till, say, the end of 2019, where do you see the Bitcoin price around that time?
Yeah, so I try to avoid making, say, short-term predictions. I mean, I feel more comfortable looking at the really long term and try to interpolate over time, but that's not something that works over shorter time scales. So I will,
What do you say in the longer term?
Okay, so I mean, I think one of the things we can look at is that in this time, 30 years from now, where hopefully you can go to any store in Israel and you're not sure that it still accepts shekels, then I think at that time, one Bitcoin could be easily $1 million. So we can interpolate based on that. So if things go well, and of course it could be that I'm completely wrong and everything will fail, but if things go according to plan, then I guess in 10 years, $100,000 per Bitcoin is very reasonable. So that's where we want to shoot for.
Okay. Meni, I want to thank you so much for speaking with us at BLOCKTV.
For more news and updates, follow us on Twitter.